Hello, this is Fresh Prime, and today we're going to do a Kaiju Thursday top 10 list of the top 10 monsters, or Kaiju, that I like to see in the Monsterverse, since Godzilla vs. Kong is unfortunately being delayed to 2021. But hey, we're just doing this for my list, so the rules are simple. Number one, it has to what changes that I could figure how they add to the Monsterverse to be realistic. Since I know they're fictional, but yeah, they change a lot from Godzilla and Kong. Even some standard fixtures like Mothra, King Ghidorah, Rodan, and possibly a certain robot. But that begins with a letter M and ends with A. You probably know who I'm referring to. But anyway, and the third one is what location and scientific terminology where it can see. Yeah, there's a lot of monsters, but what kind of monsters would be perfect scientifically, and what location they're from. Anyway. Yeah. And yeah, I forgot about number 2. The scientific name. But anyway, let's start with the contest with number 10, the Gargantuas. Oh yeah. Yeah, some people want to see the Gargantuas in the Monsterverse. I like to see them in the Monsterverse too. But the one problem is how you could fix the Gargantuas. Since Kong is an assistant, they're hairy animals. I tell you where they're found. You put Santa in the North American West, in the northern regions of the state, and you put Gyra in the lower, and how they're deal with myths is simple. They're actually the creatures that many people thought they are. Since Santa looks like Bigfoot, he is actually, many people mistaken him for Bigfoot or Scratchtrotch, and Gyra was mistaken for the Skunk Ape. And yeah, and their scientific names should be called Titanus Gargantua for Santa and for Gyra as their, but their actual, their subspecies, as their subspecies, the actual give Gyra Titanus Frankenstein and give Gyra Titanus Prometheus to get tie their roots to the Frankenstein nipples and their outposts. I was gonna say more outpost 66 for Gyra, for Santa. For Gyra is the outpost 60. Well, I don't know what. Probably outpost 70. That way it makes more sense to have the Gargantuas be in different outposts, but yeah. Yeah, that's what I think. Next, number 9, Jet Jaguar. As some of you are wondering, what? Yeah, it would be interesting to have Jet Jaguar in the Monsterverse. Since apparently a certain robot who looks exactly like this guy is appearing, so yeah, Jet Jaguar. Yeah, since he is a robot, I'm assuming a Gora Fuge in the Monsterverse will be some guy who built Jet Jaguar. Again, I probably guess they're gonna put abbreviations on him. Again, why he looks like Jet Jaguar do? Again, he might be a small human-sized robot, and then he grows into massive sizes to do it. Again, they would play that thing for being more realistic. It's like, what if somebody didn't know why this robot exists? Since this robot flies and around, and plus kept the color scheme and the goofy smile. Better yet, you could, give him emotions and thoughts, even the speaking role. As long as he doesn't sound like something weird. But that is pretty much it for Jet Jaguar for number 9. Number 8 is Batra. That's why Mothra's there. Since we already had Mothra in the Monsterverse, granted she was very good in King of Monsters, but having Batra in the Monsterverse would be different. It's like they could play up Batra's role in the whole Mothra, Ghidorah, the whole myth of her. I could see Mothra being the Mothra. Batra could be having a Mothra already hatch one way, and then you have Batra hatch in the other way as a evil counterpart to Mothra. Again, they could play it up in a Mothra solo movie if they want to do it, and have Batra be the evil version of Mothra. Again, for his outpost, I'm assuming they're going to call it Outpost 92. And for his location, since Mothra's associated in the Chinese area, I'm assuming Batra's going to be up in India. Probably Bangladesh, because, yeah, Batra in an Indian jungle sounds more awesome sounding than having Mothra in a Chinese area. Yep, but that's it for the Black Mothra or Battle Mothra. And up next it is number 7 is Ultraman! That's right. How do you put Ultraman in the Monsterverse? Simple. He is you can put the Science Patrol as a subgroup of Monarch. It's like, they don't deal with the whole horror theories and all that. They focus on the monsters who attack innocent people. So yeah, if you introduce Ultraman, who is a space cop, since we already have Ghidorah, who is a space monster, it makes perfect sense to have Ultraman in this movie verse. That he is very different from it. Again, you can saying that the Bearagon capsule is an ancient thing that was buried because the previous Ultraman, Ultra Warrior, you could say it's to be referencing to Ultra Q. And then they found what they were discovering. Who is and who isn't Ultraman? Again, they can make him be a normal person. And then as he transforms into Ultraman, you can have this. Matter of fact, they could have Ultra villains being the the Ultra monsters being in the movieverse itself. Then yes, Ultraman being part of the Monsterverse would be an interesting idea. Yeah, that'd be an interesting idea. Next, it is. Next, it is Balante. Yep. How you put this plant monster in the Monsterverse? Simple. You play up the whole Godzilla spice the genes of a flower, and you can, add the whole sold thing to it. Yeah. Balante will be an interesting monster in the Monsterverse since she is basically part Godzilla, part plant. So they can, really play up the thing. Have her. What outpost you put her in? You could say she is part of Outpost 89, where they is actually a greenhouse. Just give me 1 minute. No, I don't have that. But anyway, again, they put it as a greenhouse. What location? Well, since this is a greenhouse, you could say you put it in the Amazon. Then again, so you could, you could put Balante where it's nice and green and lustrous. Again, you can play up the whole monster plant variant. And yeah, that's really it for Balante. Next, it is number 5. It is Destroyer! Yes, since we have the Oxygen Destroyer in King of the Monsters, there is no choice that Destroyer's gonna be in the Monsterverse. Since we already had Ghidorah, we might gonna have a certain robot, but Destroyer makes an excellent choice because he is the ultimate destructor, and he would fit in the Monsterverse. There's already Outpost 95 in the Monsterverse, so they could test the found samples. We don't know if any Crimean crabs appear in the Monsterverse. If they do, they most likely turn to a Monsterverse version of Destroyer, or they could do the whole thing and turn the Kevin head back in the post-credits thing of King of Monsters, and turn that head into Destroyer, which is be really interesting since Destroyer basically transformed into multiple forms. But yeah, this monster should be in the Monsterverse. And you wonder why it's number 5? I don't know. Again. Number 4 is Bearagon. As you wondering, what? Let me explain. Bearagon is most popular in for the Japanese crown. That's why he's included in GMK. And Bearagon would make perfect sense for a Monsterverse universe. Other changes like he can dig underground and really use that fire effect. He hasn't used this system. Again, and really interesting to have Bearagon in the movie. And what outposts? Since certain outposts later on this list I would pick for poor Barry's sake, I'm gonna put him in Outpost 01. It's like, wow. that location probably in a New Mexican desert or Egypt desert makes sense because he digs underground, or probably in Australia. Again, he would make a perfect monster in the Monsterverse because plus that makes the Japanese fans really happy to see him in the Monsterverse. Yeah. Another thing, for motion capture sake, please cast a female actress for the role of Bearagon, so we can have a Monsterverse version of that famous clip. Granted, we are gonna see a random girl screaming, "Rah!" at the camera with dots and a bodysuit. But yeah, that is it for Bearagon. Next. Hey, you guys! It's Bearer! Number 3 is Kaiju. Why does this space chicken is number 3? Well, since Ghidorah's from space, obvious choice for another space monster is Gigan. So, what they gonna do with Gigan? Again, he could be a space monster of some sort that was created by I don't know, alien race that put metal parts on him so they can help him progress to a more peaceful life? Yeah. Where location he'll be from? I'm gonna say Outpost 72. The city port, the location for Gigan being a cyborg. There is no place perfect for Gigan than in the Russian landlords. Because in the Siberian winters, because he being a cyborg would make perfect sense to put the location in Russia so they can analyze him and all that. And then whenever Ghidorah uses alpha call, Gigan hears it, but he's not yet completely upgraded, not completely activated. So yeah, if you want to include Gigan in the Monsterverse, that will be interesting, and plus make some fans happy that he's in it in a good movie for once, because the last 3 ones were pretty good, were interesting, but that is it for this guy. Number 2 is Anguirus. Yep, since American fans were suddenly happy that, yep, there is an Easter egg in King of Monsters have a Anguirus skeleton, but it may or may not be him. We don't know. But yeah, Anguirus in the Monsterverse, what they gonna do with him? Well, they could give him that ball weapon that he had in Final Wars. I'm gonna say his personality will be contained in the Monsterverse as a friend of Godzilla. It's like, yeah, he will be perfect for the Monsterverse. He is really instinct. He can roll in the ball and he could underground, and yeah, he can do underground stuff and all that. Yeah. Again, really interesting. what Guinness is for the American crown. Yeah. And as he is number 2, who is number 1? You wondering? Well, number 1 is none other than... That's right, Gamera. How you put Gamera in the Monsterverse, you ask? Since Godzilla already has a Gamera-like personality in the Monsterverse, what you gonna do with him? Easy. Put Gamera in as a knight of sorts. He protects Godzilla and Mothra. Like back in Atlantis, created a lot of Gameras to protect some of the Titans they worship. It's like, then you could add Gauss as a enemy agent that was created by Ghidorah's DNA and merged with a bat that created Ghidorah, and then not created Ghidorah, created Gauss, and then you have a Magic War and Monster Wars. You can have that Gamera, the Atlanteans created Gamera, and you have Unknown Country, possibly Mew or Lemire, created Gauss, and you have a great Monster War. And then you have saying that the Gamera, as for Gamera, his name, as for Gamera himself, again, you could give him the personality. He's a knight, monster, he is loyal to only one monster, that being Godzilla. He also is a protector, so he can protect Mothra, even Kong, if you don't want really think about it. He protects the universe, that's why he's called the Guardian of the Universe. He protects, again, if Gamera was in the Monsterverse, his personality will be part of the Heisei trilogy feel design of his personality of the Heisei era, and part of the history of the Showa era, the friend of the children. Yeah, if you include a child character being in the Monsterverse, I'm recommending to do the Gamera route and have a much older child to be Gamera's friend. Yeah, since the company who now owns Gamera doesn't care for it anymore, I say Gamera deserves a second chance in life. And the Monsterverse would work. Again, how you can put Gamera in the Monsterverse? What outpost he's from? Outpost 65. That makes more sense. What location? The Vietnam swamplands. That's because that makes more sense, because Gamera is possibly based on their ancient legend of a word turtle. And yep, that makes more sense to have Gamera in the Monsterverse. Again, I did have done this, but I completely forgot to do the Titanus stuff. So yeah, for Batra is Titanus Dark Monster, if you want to call him, or as could be Titanus Double Dagger, but they possibly call it Titanus Biolante. Destroyer will probably call Titanus Destroyer. Or call him Titanus. Something demonic and evil sounding. Bearagon will be Titanus. Probably a dark name. Probably a Titanus Bearagonus. Or probably his name. Supposedly name in GMK. The original draft of GMK. Excuse me. For Gigan would be really funny if he's called Titanus Gigantus. Oh look, a reference from Godzilla Raids Again. How funny. For Gigantus will be Titanus. One of the confusion names of his likelihood. For Gamera will be Titanus Gamera, because that sounds more interesting. For that. Yeah, that! Of course, since Jet Warrior is a robot, and Ultraman is a space cop, I don't know what they give him. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this interesting look of what monsters I like to see in Monsterverse. Again, if you want to comment on this video, please do. You can put likes or dislikes. You can comment on my Twitter page, and you can comment on that whatever I do in Facebook. But yeah, this is Batra from 10. And next week, something you probably know what I'm gonna do next. Like the assurance somebody's doing next week. Anyway, bye!